Good day, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Today, we are going to continue the topic we started last year, which is the data preparation. Last year, we covered the foundational steps in data preparation, including the data cleaning, handling missing values, correcting inconsistencies entries, and understanding the data and also the data transformation, which is the encoding in categorical variables. And today, we're going to discuss the feature engineering. The feature engineering is involves creating new features or modifying existing ones to improve the predictive power of machine learning models. So ito nga yung magdagdag ka ng panibagong column or dun mo na lang siya babaguhin sa luma niyang column. This process is crucial because it allows the model to better capture the underlying patterns in the data that are related to the target variables. So now, let's do a coding part. In feature engineering, scenario 6, calculating tenor in years. So, tenor months, the purpose of the tenor months column in our dataset is typically to represent the length of time in months that an individual such as customer has been associated with a company or services for so long. And also the tenor months is being converted into new column called year as customer, which express the tenor in whole years rounded down to the nearest integer. This transformation can be helpful for easier analysis by their duration in years rather than months. So let's discuss the part H code. So the DF, the tenor months, is considered the column name of our datasets. In our datasets, this column contains the duration, which is the month that each customer has been associated with the company. And the DF and the divide 12 is each is divided by 12 months in tenor months. And also the dot as type, close open parenthesis end, is the resulting floating pointers to integer by truncating the decimal part. For example, the 25 over 2, which is 25 months over 12 months, is 2.08. So, gagawin niyo itong into integer, which is whole number, which is 2. This ensures that year as customer column contains only whole numbers. So, and this part, this is the new column in the data frame called year as customer. Dito niya ilalagay lahat ng mga integer value representing the number of full years the customer has been associated within the company. Kumbaga ito yung storage niya. And then, this part for checking the result if nag-work ba siya. So, yan nga, nakita natin na naapektuhan yung dataset natin na yung tenor months naging year as customer to 6 years. Wala siyang point kasi dahil sa as type integer yung pinibigay niya, which is the whole number. So that's for the scenario 6. Next, let's proceed to the scenario 7, which is the part of the feature engineering. Also, which is the binning internet usage. Ito naman yung technique para makita mo kung gaano ka makita mo yung range ng bawat isa. So, let's discuss the every code. The df.internet usage is the column name in pandas in our data frame. This column contains numeric values representing the amount of internet usage in gigabyte. So the function pd.cut, this function in pandas is used to segment and sort data into bins or interval. Dinidivide niya yung mga values sa column na into discrete intervals and assign label to each interval. For example, and in bins 0, 10, 50, 100, this define the ages of the intervals for categorizing the data. For the bins from 0 to 10, we'll consider siya na low usage. From 0 to 50, medium usage, and also the 50 to 100 is the high usage. And the labels that these are the labels assigned to the bins. If the value falls in the range, which is while ago I said that 0 to 10 is makakategorize siya into low, and 10 to 50 is medium, and 50 to 100 is high. And then after that, gagawa siya ng panibang column, which is the usage category in our existing database. This column, dito niya nilalagay lahat ng category labels, which is the low, medium, high, corresponding to the values in the internet usage column. And this code represent to check the result if they work. So internet usage, so 89.36 in usage category, na-categorize siya into high. Then 48.74, na-categorize siya into medium, and 6.33, na-categorize din siya into low. So next, let's proceed to the last techniques of data preparation. The data integration involves combining data from different sources into a unified data to provide more complete and comprehensive view. Ito na yung pagsama-samahin mo yung dalawang sources or kahit ilan to merge into one single data frame para mas malawak yung pangunawa mo sa data mo. So, let's proceed to the coding part. Data integration, scenario 8, merging datasets for full customer view. So, assuming monthly transaction that contains additional transaction data. So, gagawa tayo ng panibagong data frame natin, which is data frames transaction. Dito natin ilalagay yung bagong dataset natin, which is the monthly transactions dataset. Ito yung pangalawa nating dataset. Alam niyo naman ito yung process kung paano mag-load ng dataset. So, hindi ko na ito i-discuss na masyado. Let's proceed to the next part. So, ito na yung part na i-merge mo yung dalawang datasets. So, the pd.merge, it is this pandas function merges to data frame based on a common column, which is the key. In this case, The merge combines DF, which is the DF, which is our first dataset, which is the customer dataset. And the second one is the DF transaction, which is the second dataset, which is the transaction dataset based on the column and based on the column. And this function own equals customer ID. This is specify the k-column customer ID used to match rows between the two datasets. Dapat meron kayo magkakaparehang column, which is the customer ID and the customer ID sa bawat isa. And dapat yung values ng customer ID same sa isa. Halimbawa, dapat yung 01, dapat yung sa isa 01. Kasi kapag hindi parehas yung ID, kasi kapag parehas yung column name, which is the customer ID, but the different entries ay nakalagay, so mamimerge siya, but the following columns magiging none yung lahat ng entry. So next, how the equals left is a left join includes all rows from the left data frame and only matching rows from the right, which is the DF transaction. If a row in DF has no match in DF transactions, the resulting columns from DF transaction will contain none for the row. Katulad yung sinabi ko kanina, dapat magkakaparehas talaga yung customer ID entries. And also, this is useful when the customer dataset, which is the DF, is primary datasets, and you want to keep up customers even if they have no associated transaction data. And next, after the process of merging, so yung finished product, ipapasok niya sa panibagong data frame natin, which is the DF combined. DF combined, we're going to use the DF combined now. So to check the customer ID, same sila ng interest values ng bawat isa. So na-merge yung dalawang dataset natin. So yung datong column, which is the transaction date, transaction amount, service type, ito yung second dataset natin na minerge natin sa first dataset natin, which is yung okay, let's proceed to the correlation part. In the correlation, we use the numeric variables. This part selects a subset of columns from the DF combined data frame. These columns are churn status, call duration, internet usage GB, monthly bill, gender, age, year as customer, transaction ID, and this is example of our variables. And also the .core plus open parenthesis function is the method applied to these selected columns, which is this selected columns to calculate the person correlation coefficient between each pair of variables. So the result is a correlation matrix. This is this. Diyan niya ipapasok with which contain values between -1 and +1, where positive 1 indicates a perfect positive correlation, -1 indicates a perfect negative correlation, and the 0 indicates no correlation at all. And correlation matrix natin, ginamitan natin siya ng correlation heat map para mas madali natin makumpara yung bawat isa. So ito nga yung churn status. Kukuha tayo ng variable na dalawa. So churn status to call duration, wala siyang correlation. No correlation. So yung internet usage gigabyte sa churn status, wala rin siyang perfectly no correlation. same as may 0.2 sa churn status at saka monthly bill. So, may konting correlation, pero hindi naman talaga siya perfect correlation. So, same, wala tayong nakikitang 0.6 na mas malapit sa 0 sa 1. So, pero may napansin ako dito na the internet usage, mas malaki yung correlation niya sa age. Siguro dahil maraming gumagamit ng internet na mas matanda kaysa mga bata. Mas maraming time yung paggamit ng internet yung mga matatanda. I mean, hindi sa mga matatanda, but the 18 or 18 and above, siguro, yes. So, that's all for the data preparation. Thank you.